Hey everyone, Mtashed here, and today I want to talk about what classes you might want to pick or should pick or could pick going into Destiny 2. You need to remember PvE and PvP are a big part of this game, and you need to get something you're going to be comfortable playing both with. Now, there was some major spoilers today about classes, about existing abilities, about different abilities. I don't want to spoil what it is. I don't want to even give you a hint at what changed. But what I'm going to tell you is if you want to explore, you want to find out everything for yourself, please don't watch this video. I'm going to talk about some major spoilers in like 20 seconds here, okay? Get out of here. Get moving. I'm warning you. I'm giving you the chance. And if you don't want to get spoiled, get out. Get going. Go. Go right now. And honestly, if someone complains in the comment section about getting spoilers, I told you for the past 20 seconds I'm gonna spoil things, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Okay? Now let's jump right into it. So, they spoiled today, which actually I'm kind of pissed about, Sunbreaker, Stormcaller, and Night Stalker will be coming back to Destiny 2. From everything we've seen, from everything we can tell, abilities we've seen in the 90-minute preview they did today, we have utter confidence, 99.9% confidence, that there will be those three classes in the game, which changes absolutely everything for PvE and PvP in many occasions. Many people complained that the Hunter felt lackluster in PvE. Well, now you're about to get one of the best PvE classes back into the game. And now you have to remember, if each class has 3 subclasses now, this might change up how you're feeling towards them. Maybe you were thinking, hey, I'll go Warlock because I like the 2 available right now. Well, they just threw another one into the mix. Maybe you want to be a Titan now. Maybe you want to go back to Hunter. So I wanted to break down some of the strengths and weaknesses. Also, if you're new to the game, I want to talk about why you might want to be a Hunter, why you might want to be a Warlock, and then you can make a decision for yourself going into Destiny 2. So let's just jump into it. Because I'm playing on a Hunter right here, I've got some footage available. Let's talk about why you might want to play a Hunter. Because they've removed some of the movement options from the first game, Hunter's mobility, aka the jumping ability, the double jump, as well as, in my opinion, the shade step, it is one of the sexiest classes for movement in the game. You're able to hop up on a ledge, you're able to double jump over an opponent, you have some lateral mobility that the other classes lack, and your accuracy in air seems to be slightly better, or at least more manageable on a class like the Hunter. If you like to dip in and out of cover, you like to jump up on things and attack from different angles, I believe the Hunter is the best in PvP at the moment. Also, I'm going to talk about the PvP side of it first and then switch to PvE after, so if you're waiting for that, I apologize. I don't know when it's going to be in the video, but it's going to be coming up in a bit. Now, for slaying potential, I also think the Gunslinger was fantastic. The swarm grenade throwing knife combo was extremely deadly, especially if the enemies were clumped up. You were able to get double kills with it very frequently, or at least I was, when they would be on the B zone. You'd throw up a grenade, throw up the throwing knife, and it was great. The marksman's dodge, the shade step dodge, whatever you want to call it. I like the mobility of this. I think you can outplay opponents with this. You can also reload your gun or get your melee back using it. It's a very useful ability. But I believe that the super ability, the slaying potential of the Gunslinger is one of the best in the game. You have a ranged weapon that can take out other supers. You can take out other players. I got multiple breakers using the Gunslinger in the PvP beta. However, I think that the other subclass tree is going to be better than the one that we got to play. The 6 shots run out too quickly. They're not powerful enough. If you look at this subclass tree right here at the bottom, this one gives you 3 shots. They're able to crit, but I believe it's going to have a little bit longer timer with the 3 shots. It's going to do a little bit more damage. Maybe you can take out a super if you crit. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm speculating at this point, but I believe this will be the better option for your super. Also, you'll be able to generate some orbs in PvE. I think this is going to be the way to go in a lot of situations. Now, the Arc Strider, on the other hand, I feel is a little bit weak in PvP. Probably the worst class in the game for PvP at this time. The mobility of it wasn't strong enough to close the gap. I didn't really like it. I just don't see a lot of strengths in it other than the skip grenade. However, in PvE, it had some pretty good, AoE damage. You could take out a lot of enemies with it. I think the Arc Strider will be okay. But if you're playing PvE, you're either going to go on the Gunslinger with the crit golden gun, or you're going to go on the Night Stalker, which has amazing CC. You've got the Shadow Shot, which will hold down enemies and cause bonus damage, and you've got the Smoke Bomb, which is great. And if they add the invisibility to that, it'll be a very great class overall, a very unique class. I'm going to play a lot of the Night Stalker. Obviously, until we fully test what's coming in the full launch, I can't really fully make a decision here, but as a whole, Hunter is a great class. It's got some PvP dominance, it's got some PvE dominance, you know, it's got some good things going to it. I would say that the skill gap is a little bit higher on a Hunter than the other classes. If you want to optimally use this class, you do need to put in a little bit of effort into understanding the throwing knives and understanding when to pop your super and things like that, because it doesn't make you tankier. It doesn't allow you to shut down other supers that easily unless you already have it popped. It's not like a Nova Bomb you can throw down at your feet kind of thing. And you also have to remember, without the Healing Rift or the big shield that the Titan gets, this class lacks quite a bit of utility. Even when you throw Shadow Shot and Smoke Bombs into the mix, the dodge ability doesn't bring a lot to the team. It doesn't bring a lot to the table for everyone else. So, let's change it up and let's talk about the Warlock. This is my second best pick. I'm actually going kind of in order. Hunter, I think they're great, but they're not the best. And then I think there's Warlocks that were great, but not my favorite. And then we're going to get into the Titans after that. So if you want to skip ahead to a Titan or whatever you want to see, you can kind of guesstimate where it'll be. But let's just jump into the Warlocks. Now, the Warlocks have the Dawnblade, has the Nova Bomb, and now apparently has the Stormcaller. One thing to note before we get into it and people talk about balance, all melees are the same range. You're not going to have a mile-long melee like you did in Destiny 1 on the Stormcaller. Everything is 5 meters from what I've heard, so you're not going to have these crazy duels where you can't melee the other guy. Now let's really jump in to the Warlock, to the subclasses, and why you'd want to play them, why they're good. I think overall, it's going to be one of the most popular kind of classes for people to pick because there is a lot of utility with the Warlock. You've got a healing or empowering rift that can be used in a multitude of ways. You can use the healing rift to get a revive on a friend and tank a boss shooting at you or some enemies. You can throw down a healing rift and an empowered rift and your entire team can go in the middle of there, keep your health up, and do bonus damage. There's a lot of good that comes from that healing rift. Much more utility than the Hunter. You've also got a class like the Voidwalker, which has some crazy things you can do with it, such as use your grenade charge to heal up, allowing you to clutch a play you might not have been able to on low health, get a revive off when you wouldn't have been able to, or pop out a little sooner. You've got a Nova Bomb that's a huge AoE damage. It's able to shut down other supers. You've also got healing on your melee. Like, there's a lot with the Voidwalker that is sexy for both PvE and PvP. Then you've got the Dawnblade. The Dawnblade is almost like a Sunbreaker. You've got huge AoE, you've got a ranged attack, you've got a kind of a close range slamming attack, you've got an in-air dodge. I think that the Dawnblade is going to be one of the most popular classes just because it looks fun, it feels fun, it's got some nice AoE, and you still got those healing rifts. That's the biggest thing, is that healing rift is universal across Warlocks. You know, whatever class or subclass you're playing, you're bringing value to the team almost every single time. I mean, unless you're as bad as KJ Hovey at this game, okay? I think Dawnblade is fantastic. More people, I feel like, will move towards Dawnblade than the other classes just because it seems all hyped up. But there's also the Stormcaller. And if anyone remembers the Stormcaller from Destiny 1, it was a dominant force in PvP. In PvE, not quite as much. It was still fantastic. I don't think people mained Stormcaller as much in the PvE side of things, but we don't know exactly where this class is going to go. But the fact that it's in the game, you have another class that is, has utility in multiple areas. It's good for multiple things. So if you pick up a Warlock, you've got 3 really good subclasses to play on. You know, maybe even some of the best subclasses in the game, all on one character. So if you're starting off Destiny, you're going to be grinding through it, you need guns and armor that's going to work for a Warlock, well, it's going to last you a long time while you max out all these subclasses. That's pretty much it, though, for the Warlock. I want to start talking about the Titan for a little bit. Now, despite the Warlock being fantastic, I personally identify with a lot of the Titan classes. I feel that they are overall stronger for someone like myself, for my playstyle. I think the Warlock is so damn close, though, it doesn't matter, but little things turn me off about the Warlock, such as the movement. I don't like the floaty bullshit that comes with the Dawnblade subclasses. I don't like the floaty bullshit with just the regular jump of the Warlock. And I think that the Titan brings a lot of power to the table. You have a towering or rallying barricade, allowing you to throw up a shield and completely block damage when getting a revive in PvE. While you can throw down a healing rift with a Warlock, throwing down an entire shield allows you to completely mitigate damage and allow you to get a revive where a healing rift might not let you. For myself, I think I'm going to start with the Titan because I see a lot of value in the Striker Titan. I see a lot of value in the Sentinel Titan especially. And then throwing in the hammers, that's extra sexy for me. I like the AoE, I like the burning. So, with the Titan, you have an amazing shield to block hallways in PvP or, get a revive off in PvE. You've got a Striker Titan with some great AoE and then a roaming super, one of the best roaming supers in the game at this point. It seemed like the hit registration was fantastic. You can also spec to get 2 grenades, and everyone that's played this game, they know that the cooldowns are pretty long on grenades, so having 2 of them up is pretty sexy as well. Then you have the Sentinel. The Sentinel has a ranged shield attack that you can spec to have 2 of them, so you can roam around shield bashing people, and then if there's someone at a range, you can throw it. So PvP side of it, I think is very sexy. But then you can also spec to throw down a bubble, a Ward of Dawn, allowing you to make some huge plays in PvE or even PvP. I think the Sentinel is going to be one of the best classes in the game overall because of the utility. It's got 2 massive shields it can use. If you need to slay, you can slay with it. And then you throw in the Sunbreaker, which is a hammer-throwing monster that does a ton of AoE damage in PvE, doing the missions, doing the strikes. It can be very sexy overall, but also has some great slaying power when you're doing the Crucible matches. And I like to think that overall, as a bundle, I will find more value in the Titan classes. I like the flow of the Titan, I like everything about it, and I think if you pick up the Titan, well, I also think if you pick up the Warlock, you will not go wrong for the first month of the game. You can grind those classes, you will not complain, you will have lots to do, you will be able to do, any content. If the raid comes out, you're safe. If this comes out, you're safe. That, you're safe. Everything, you're safe. So if I was going to recommend you play anything, you're jumping into this game for the first time, you're jumping into this game as a veteran. If you don't want to risk it for the biscuit, I would go with a Warlock or a Titan. In most situations, people on LFG sites that are looking for that extra person to raid with, if you're on a Warlock or a Titan, they will never make a complaint. Where if you're on a Hunter, maybe they'll complain that you're not bringing enough to the table. With Shadow Shot coming, I doubt it because that is a huge, valuable thing to have for your team. But I'm just saying right now, if you had to make a quick decision, Warlock and Titan, sorry, not Warlock. Because it doesn't lack anything, baby. It's a beautiful class. And I'm very excited to know that there are 3 subclasses for each class. That adds a lot of replayability, that adds a lot of value to this game right off the hop. But that's pretty much it for me. That is my advice. I will talk to you very soon. One quick thing, I'm not putting the names of everyone on the from the Patreon at the end of the video right now because there are some people that said they don't want their names up on the screen. So I'm trying to whittle out or wean out all the people that don't want their name out there, and then I'll post it again. Thank you so much for the support, and I will see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.